One of the lenses that I think that everybody needs to own, regardless of the camera brand, is the 35mm f1.8. Now, other brands probably have different f-stops for this pretty inexpensive lens. You can find it, the Canon RF one, for about under $400 used and under $500 brand new. I bought this lens about, I want to say 4 years ago, and it was probably the best lens that I had ever gotten. It is incredibly small, super lightweight, and it renders images and video really well, especially at like f1.8 or like f2.8, f2. It's just a really nice lens. This one specifically from Canon has image stabilization, and it also has a short minimum focal distance, making it a macro lens of sorts. This one specifically has a minimum focus distance of 0.56 feet. So what is that, like 6 inches or so? So you're able to get really close to subjects, so you can do some nice macro photography, you know, in a studio, or some product photography, or what I like to do with this lens, or macro lenses in general, is shoot flowers when I'm out and about. It's just a nice, easy focal length to use for that purpose, especially if it has macro capabilities. Some other things that I really like about it is that this one has, like I said, the built-in image stabilization. So on the RF ecosystem, if you have a camera that doesn't have IBIS, in-body image stabilization, this one has IS. So like the R8, oh my God, the R8 with this 35 is fantastic. I can't tell you enough how great that combination is. But even if you don't own a full frame RF camera or R camera, on a crop sensor camera like the R50V or the R50, or heck, even the R7, this 35mm, if you multiply it by like 1.6, you do get like close to, what would that be, like a 50mm or something like that. Math is hard, but anyways, when you factor in that crop factor, this turns into like roughly a 50mm, which is so good in general. So if you have a full frame camera, 35 is absolutely spectacular. But if you do put this on a crop sensor, it immediately turns it into a 50mm, which, if you know anything about the 50, it's a very ideal focal length, especially for portraits. So it's just a great overall lens, and I really think that this is probably one of the most underrated lenses that people don't really talk about. The 35mm is an ideal focal length for almost everything. Close-up of product shots because it has macro capabilities. It's also really great for portraits. Portraits, even if you're just doing like above the shoulder, but ideally if you're doing portraits with this, it would be more like environmental portraits where you're getting full body or half body shots. This is ideal and so good. Again, the 35 is just a super underrated focal length in my opinion. Next to that, if you want to do videos with this, a 35 talking head video is really nice. Now, I wouldn't probably say that this is good for vlogging, only because your distance that you have to hold it out, it would be a little bit tight on your face. It's not like the 24. The 35 is a little tight if you do hand hold it. I will tell you that. But if you set it maybe 4 feet in front of you with, you know, as a talking head, it's a really nice focal length for sure. I like using this lens for just walking around the city or walking around the environment. 35 is just so universal. I can't say it enough. A lot of people always want to start with, like, when they're getting started with photography, they always go for like the Nifty 50. And the Nifty 50 is okay. You guys have heard me talk a lot about it. But what makes the Nifty 50 so good is that it's so inexpensive, right? It just belongs in your bag. But the Nifty 50 is just that. It's just a nice focal length that is very similar to what the human eye sees. This one, though, it is a little bit more expensive, probably double the price. The Nifty 50 is about $200. This one you can get for about 400 bucks. This one has a lot more features. It has the macro capabilities and it has the image stabilization. Now, I am talking specifically about the RF 35mm, but in other brands, this is still a great focal length that I really do recommend. And I think people really sleep on this 35mm prime, and I'm not entirely sure why. So the final point, if you want a lens that can literally do anything, regardless if you have a full frame sensor or a R crop sensor camera, the RF 35mm is ideal for practically everything, like I said. If you guys want to learn more about the 50mm focal length, which is another great lens, the Nifty 50 they call it, the plastic fantastic, you're going to want to check out this video right here. See ya.